everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast with Mike and Jay. Hello, Biggie. Hello, Jay.
Hey, guys.
How are you, my
Very
friend?
well, thank you.
Yep. He and I are, we're roommates basically at this point. He spent the night again last night.
Twice in a couple weeks, right?
What time is it? 12:30 or 1 in the morning? You're like, do you mind if I just crash on the couch down here?
Right.
Something like that. I was like, yeah.
You know what's funny?
Take a load off, Jesus. You're good.
I'm so cheap too that like I see that as like, well, I didn't spend gas money there and back, so it's like $3.
So were you on the Astronom couch?
The Astronom couch.
He was on the Astronom couch.
Kind of short. He's just.
Dude,
a
to be
love
honest, it was not great. I usually go to the big one we have, but we're doing our renovations are starting to take place, so I couldn't do that.
Did you get your blanket out of the closet? Oh,
yeah,
you did. You got your blanket out.
Got
Yeah.
my
He's got his own
blankie.
blankie and pillow here. It's so funny,
Put
man.
Netflix on it. Put Netflix on and fall asleep.
Did you get scared at all with all the Windows Siri?
You know what? When I did it last week, 2 weeks ago, I actually did wake up in the middle of the night at one point, and I'm shocked I wasn't scared because that would normally scare me.
Yeah,
You're
that's what I
someone that
figured.
is someone that gets scared when things go bump in the night.
Yes,
Right.
for sure.
That
Oh,
really,
yeah. I mean, I've said it before. Like, if I don't watch horror movies, but if I even like somehow I see a clip of a horror movie or I watch enough of one and I come home late at night, I will sit in the car, make sure I have my phone and my keys, get everything ready to go, open the garage door, and just right
So
into
remember
the house.
that, everybody, as he is out in the driveway in a tent in a couple weeks.
Right. No, it's so funny. Like this morning, I'm like, oh, I look out the window. I'm like, oh, fuck, he's cars. I forgot. He's standing. I'm like, yo, Jesus, what are you doing? Just masturbating.
Oh, God.
It's like just the visual, the thought.
Did you really down here? He says,
No.
No.
Well, he's not drunk. He'll tell us. We'll get the truth out of him when he gets shit-faced next. But
Nah, I did before I came over yesterday, so I was good.
yeah, you came before you came.
Right.
Nice. Yeah, the Grind Time team with McCarty and the boys were here last night, and things got a little
late.
crazy. Yeah, they usually do. It was fun. You know, it's cool because we'll just like off the cuff be filming shit behind the scenes. Like Tim and I were fucking around with the guitar last night, and Isa started filming it and stuff like that. So that stuff's kind of cool. But I'm getting so pissed off, like posting stuff on like Facebook especially, that I'm just like, nah, I don't want to bother doing it anymore. I don't want to.
What do you mean you're getting pissed off doing
Well,
it?
because it used to be where if you put something out on Facebook,
It actually got
reached
circulated.
people.
Yeah.
It actually went somewhere. Like Tim and I, it's not the fucking greatest video ever, but it's just kind of funny behind the scenes, singing a couple songs, playing guitar, being assholes. 6 minutes long. It's plenty good enough for Facebook, and it's recorded well. And it's like, do I really want to bother sharing this with 400 people and get hardly any likes and comments? It's like, what the fuck? It's depressing more than anything.
Here's where I think
just throw in the members area.
Yeah, you need some
put-
dopamine rush out of
Yes,
this
I need
if you're going to do it.
And the way they're doing it now, where they're holding likes back and stuff. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
They're doling them out.
They're
so that
doling
your
them out like
dopamine doesn't come rushing in. It
yeah.
Yeah, they don't want. They
sporadic.
want
They
you
do
to
not want you to get as far as
Interesting,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's like it's been a couple hours. Let's give them a little dopamine blast. Here's a little heroin. Dink dink. Heart. And
So
you're
that's
like,
not better for you?
no. I
No?
want to see I want to see that it's people are checking it
And
out.
then you
'cause-
just want it stalled? Maybe
Well, no.
Facebook's doing you a favor, man.
no, because it's got a day. It's got a
Yeah,
shelf
what drug
life.
addict wants it all at once? You want it throughout
No.
the day.
Well, then I
Steady
can do
drip.
another video and get another load of heroin. But it's got a shelf life. After 2 days, I forget the video was there. It's
Yeah.
gone. So it's like I want it now. Give me the hit now. And it's just I've just noticed the change.
I
You
think
haven't been on the book for a while, but it's driving me nuts.
I've told you this. I think the thing is, there's two things. One, Facebook is being a fucking dick, unquestionable, and some of it is like I'm getting sick of kind of hearing, by the way, that Facebook's free because it's not really free in a way. They're taking everything that you put out there and selling that shit.
They've
I
put
know
their
you're
own
not
price on
directly
your
paying,
privacy.
but I also think that I was trying to tell this to Mike. I think Mike, you get a little. I'm not saying it's not an old man thing, but I think that social
Old man pussy.
He loves calling me an old man.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I do not.
Everything I do that you don't agree with, it's because I'm an old man.
I know.
You say that all the time, Easus.
But
not
you
being an old man, I know how Facebook works, and I know how it used to work.
No, okay, I understand that, but I think that sometimes
He's old enough to know how it used to work.
I'm trying to help you, and I've told him before. I think the problem is
I'm just so old. I need help.
You just need to learn how it kind of works, like as far as like when you post things. And like I was telling him, like the problem is because of how Facebook is doing with these the algorithms. Clearly, they're seeing this person's trying to sell themselves as a product. We're gonna start fucking making them want to boost shit. But if you post shit and you're regularly engaging in the post, it keeps refreshing it back into people's news feeds, which is why my comments a lot of times will keep rolling through a day or so, because I literally will comment on shit. But I know you don't want to do that, but I'm just saying it pops it back up.
I see 60 comments on your thing, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Well, 40 of them were E.
20 of them will be me.
He responds to everyone, right?
Yeah, and that's great. That's great. And you're right. But dude, do you really think we have the time to sit down and just respond to every comment?
I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm saying, but you have to. But I'm just telling you, you get so caught up on like, I think that like I sent something out. How come no one listens? The key is two things: one, interacting on your own post, and two, you just have to send a bunch of stuff out and realize that some stuff is for whatever reason going to get 3 likes, and then something's going to get 100 for some reason.
Right. I understand all that. The problem is like yesterday we were talking about Dan Lazinski, listener of ours who passed away. There's a GoFundMe for his wife, Sharissa, and their kids, and we mentioned it, and our listeners went to it, and I wrote a thing up, kind of our memories of Dan coming over here with Gary and sitting in with us, and I thought more about it because it's hard to remember everybody that's come in here, but it was like, oh yeah, I do remember the Motor City Harley guys coming in, and it's like you think about having some beers with guys and conversations off air and laughing, and so I wrote this whole fucking big thing up and shared it, saying if you can help, great. I know we ask a lot of you. If you can't, you'll get it next time. We got you, and encourage people to donate, and it's like that should be getting more play than 3 hearts and fucking 1 comment. That's bullshit.
Boost it.
I don't want to pay $20 to boost it. Fuck you. It's like, that's not selfish. That's not about me. It wasn't like, oh, look at this picture of me that's amazing, you got to like it. It's like,
well, Facebook doesn't
a lot, dude. I spent a long time writing that fucking thing up for someone else.
But here's your problem.
Facebook's a business, man. It's a business
platform. Don't give me that. They're more than they're not just a free platform. If they were a free platform, then people that like your page will see your shit. They're
Mike,
not doing that now.
Facetiously, in that you are using a free service, expecting just the utmost service to you personally. Dude, Facebook's doing what they think is best for Facebook.
Yeah, well.
And I've told you, dude, what I just said, I think you poo-pooed that, but like it just is what it is. Sometimes you're going to write a big thing.
I'm not poo-pooing that. I understand
it's just
that.
For whatever reason not going to get hit. You just have to like.
I didn't. In no way did I poo-poo.
I heard a poo-poo.
But you just have to power through. You just have to power through all that shit and just keep making posts and just realizing that some will hit, some won't,
Look,
and oh well.
I caught what you said there. You snarky little shit.
What did I say?
You were like, well, kind of this attitude, like, well, you think because you put it out there, everyone should see it, like I'm some egomaniac, and that's not it at all. I spent that was important to get that post out there referencing the GoFundMe. It had nothing to do with me, and it was like, that is a shame now that 4,000 people follow my page and it's seen by 20 of them unless I pay for it.
It's a bummer.
And it's it's meant to. This is what you're supposed to do. If you've got a platform and you get things out there and connect with people, that's the whole point.
But what you said is key. Unless you pay for it, you can pay for it.
That's new and I don't like it.
But if Facebook wasn't even there, we wouldn't even have this access to getting stuff out.
I know.
Look, that's where
somebody wants cake and to eat it too.
Exactly,
yes,
Jay. Exactly.
Which is the dumbest statement. Why would you want cake and then not eat it? Of course I want my cake and eat it too. No, I want my cake to let you eat it?
No.
That's stupid.
Here's the reality. You're right, Mike. It's half and half. You're right.
I'm having my cake and I'm eating it.
Facebook's being a dick, unquestionable, but it is what it is. You just got to play within that, knowing that rule, and then and just do that. Like I said, if you're more engaging on your thing and you do more posts, it's just going to hit eventually.
Yeah.
Speaking of social media, do you guys hear Jack Dorsey at all on Rogan and Sam Harris?
Jack Dorsey's
Twitter CEO, also Square CEO. But
shit, no, I did not.
Yeah, he's on both of those over the last week. Pretty interesting. I mean, the dude. The key takeaway is that they know it's a shit show, and they're allegedly working hard behind the scenes to make it a more palatable environment. I think it's an impossible task.
Right. That's what,
But what he said on Harris's show in particular is that they're not, just putting more rules in place to try to slap people down for communication that's deemed unsafe or unpalatable, whatever, is not the way to go. And instead, they have to change the whole idea of what the conversation is and give people incentive to keep conversations going in a positive way.
Yeah.
And that sounds really theoretical, and it is, and he acknowledges that, but that's what they're working to do because it is a cesspit.
Well,
and they all know it.
I've noticed the video portion is coming up a lot. Like, it's been there for a while, I know, but that fourth button on Facebook that's popped up now, if you're going through your thing and it all of a sudden there's like, friends blooper reel, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll watch 4 minutes of that, and then it'll automatically flip to another one. Like, oh, you like that? You stay with that video? Here's another one.
Facebook or Twitter?
Facebook.
Oh.
Facebook.
Of course.
Facebook's doing this. Oh, were you talking exclusively about Twitter? Sorry. I was trying to find this story, so I was half paying attention on me.
No, go ahead.
Because there's a new book about Facebook that I asked Ito to order for us that I think is going to be really fascinating. So I apologize for that, Jay. But that's how they're making money, according to a lot of people, is because those videos. Have you noticed it? Well, you're not on Facebook, so these videos just roll like in your timeline. There's a new feature there, and they just roll, and they find out what you like, what you stayed with, and then they start putting yellow breaks in it. And so you'll watch, like, it'll be a 7-minute video of a great stand-up routine. And 2 minutes in, it'll say your video will continue after this ad. And they're finding out what point will he bail. They're trying to figure out the sweet spot of like, can we do 30 seconds? And it's like, the fuck you can. Go on. And so like, all right. 7 seconds? Yeah, but I'm keeping my eye on you.
He's totally right on this, because the funny thing is, like, right now a lot of them are like 5 seconds, and when I see
I'm noticing 15 seconds creeping.
Okay,
in there,
well, I know, but when I see 5 seconds, I roll through. I'm like, fuck it, 5 seconds.
Fair.
But when I get to 15 and 30, it better be a really good video before I'm scrolling through.
Everybody struggles with that. YouTube for sure, right? How many times have you been with, or even just on a news site like an ABC or something, and it's like, oh, your video will commence at, no, done. I don't want to see it that bad.
Yes, totally. And I was talking to Tim about it, and he goes, dude, this is the play. This is what is coming. They've denied it all along, but what is 100% coming is Facebook is going to be a pay service where you can eliminate all that bullshit for $10 a month.
Yeah. My worry is that you still
nobody's paying $10 a month for Facebook. He's like, bullshit. It's just like that YouTube Red or whatever that people are paying for, where it's better service. You're not dealing with all the horse.
God, you think people will pay for Facebook?
I don't know, but
because YouTube, you're getting substance. Facebook, you're getting bullshit.
Yeah, I know. Well, it feels like bullshit right now because, no offense to people, the people that are most engaged with you, they see your shit more often, and so you end up with like the same 20 people commenting and stuff, and it's like, where the rest of the guys? Where the rest of them? But anyway, this book that's coming out, I'm really fascinated by it. This guy was like an advisor to Zuckerberg, early investor. And he was on his team, and he's saying that the social networking site is absolutely terrible for America. Terrible. He said it's one of it preys on the weakest elements of our psychology. Roger McNamee is his name. And so his new book, I think it came out yesterday or 2 days ago, Zucked, Waking Up to the Facebook Catastrophe. And he's argued that Facebook poses a threat to democracy, public health, as well as user privacy.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people have said this, but this is Zuckerberg's right-hand man in the early stages. And he says he's claimed the panel that it's terrible, addictive. We've all trusted technology for really good reasons for the last 50 or 60 years because every new piece of technology made our lives better. The problem is that Facebook and Google have taken advantage of that. They've created products that essentially prey on the weakest elements of our psyche to create first habits and then addictions. They've failed to safeguard their users. You've seen a really long list of bad things happening on Facebook and Google that were fundamentally because they let their users find all the problems. They didn't do any prep for it. We need to talk about it right now. You just have a national conversation, understand the issues. That's why I wrote Zucked. So
I know that sounds probably right, dude. I don't disagree with something like that shit.
It's funny. Gab sent me a podcast with that guy on it just yesterday, saying this is great.
Yeah, and it's true, and we've seen it before. There should not be engineers inside a company as big as Google or Facebook that are willing to do 60 minutes interviews and go, nah, my kids won't let my kids on there. There's a reason for that, and we know, that's why it pisses you off when it's like, you got a lot more hearts coming, but not yet. Like, they know. They're just trying to, like, I need it, and they know to drag you along, stretch it out longer. It's frustrating, and shows itself when I, a post like that one that was kind of important.
I wonder
to
if
GoFundMe for Dan.
We hear this.
Me off.
Sorry, we hear this a lot about Facebook though. I seriously am wondering. Like, I wonder like with Instagram, if it's the same, or like I wonder if there's as much shenanigans going on over there as it is on Facebook. Facebook seems to be the worst though. From whatever, like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I hear so many people like this book and other people
devious, maybe, because people didn't realize, I think, for a long time, like, how could you not? But I think a lot of people were in the dark until Zuck sat before Congress and admitted that, yeah, dude, we're mining them for information, like a duh. But I think that hit a lot of people like a brick in the head. What?
Well, it was.
This isn't just a social network.
It was weird because we weren't used to understanding what a social media presence value was personally for each of us. We didn't know before this whole social networking experiment, like, so they've got their mile-long consent thing. Click here, and it's like, we told people, we told people that, they can't go any further without consenting to this. It's like, no, you fucker. Everyone knows. No one reads that shit. You know that. You took advantage of that, and then you guys are making mountains of money by selling your data everywhere. But it felt free.
Kind of naive to think that it's truly free.
I know, and we've said that for a few years. Like, dude, that nothing is free. But it felt free because you weren't taking your credit card out and paying for it. It was just like something that's out there, like my click habits and what I clicked on is being sold. So whatever, okay, it didn't feel like that big of a deal.
I think for people, I don't want to say regular people, but people that aren't trying to do like what I've been trying to do with comedy or radio, or we do this podcast. It must be a lot more hard. Like, if you think about it, you're getting your personal shit out there. I just knew from the beginning, because I was always using it, even back to like our filming days. I was trying to use it to promote something. So I just right away was just like, yep, you're right. There's no way this is free, but this is helping me. I think.
Totally agree.
Right.
Paying for it
but
with
for
that.
regular people, like, you're not trying to build a brand or build something.
Yep.
Man, that's rough. Like,
man,
in
that's
reality.
Naive, though. God, I just have a hard time with these conversations because, number one, I feel like so naive if you don't realize that these people are mining you for data, and secondly, I could leave this shit so quickly and not care about it. So but that's me personally. I know I'm not like everybody else.
No, to E's point, I knew very early that there was a cost behind this, because if I wasn't doing a talk show or radio, I wouldn't have been on that shit either, because I just don't. It always felt kind of weird, and that's why when I opened up my personal Facebook page, it was like anybody can come in. I'll accept anybody unless it's a bot, and you can obviously tell, because no hot chick is just gonna be like, oh, I saw you get together. Here's me in a bikini. Like, those I won't. But for the most part, I let everyone in, just because it's meant to be this world. It's not meant to be private, But if I was just me, and it's like, sharing pictures of my nephew,
I know, man.
It's like, fuck that.
I was thinking about it as I was listening to Dorsey, and I'm like, all right, if I weren't doing the show, would I be on Twitter? And I was like,
not a chance.
No, I thought about it. And I thought, you know what? I might set up a burner account and just follow like 30 writers that I care about, a couple newspapers, just to get a news blast. But I would have never tweeted. I would have never typed out a tweet.
Yeah. I don't even think you would have had a burner account. I think that's easy for you to say now because you know the value of it. But I don't think you would have looked far enough into it without doing something like this to even find out what Twitter was like.
I think you're probably right on that.
And I know I'm right on that.
Completely ignorant as to how Twitter even works.
Because if you think back to like when you first got on Twitter and I was on Twitter, and neither of us were really using it. And it took us a while to figure out how this thing works. And before like news feeds and trends for you, once you figure that out, you see the value. It's like, oh shit, I can follow this writer that I really like, or this paper. Like, there's the value is in there for us personally, especially with what we do, because that news is hitting that Twitter faster than it is anywhere else. And so that's really critical. But dude, if I would not have spent the 3 months it took to figure all that shit out had it not been for this. And I don't think you would have either. But anyway, it's frustrating, but it is good. Social media is good for some things. I mean, we've really enjoyed some of the amazing schools canceled videos that we've seen of late. And there's just some, who knew the level of talent sitting in your public schools?
Before you get to this, I got woken up the old fashioned way by a 5:30 a.m. call this morning with Lake Orion schools being canceled again.
Today?
Yeah, today.
For what was the reasoning?
It's icy. Apparently in Lake Orion, every road, including every dirt road, has to be completely 100% clear of any ice
Sure, of
before
course.
we'll let our little
Is there,
China
like,
dolls back into
Yeah,
the
what are they
bus.
going out there looking like? Oh, there's a patch here on road, blank.
Look, I'm not going to reopen.
Are you fucking kidding? Are you serious right now that school is closed?
Yes.
Like,
My kids are pissed at this point. Like my
Yeah,
kids are like,
I'm
this is just
I want to see my
dumb.
friends.
Yeah,
Please. Can
they're like, because
You have
Gab's like,
practice or things
Gab's
like
like, if
that.
school is closed, you're not driving around with your friends. Nope.
yeah,
Buses
I don't
can't get there
blame her.
safely. You're not going around safely. Dude, the roads are fine.
Of
They
course
sit
they-
at home all day and they're pissed. They just want to get out.
Now, did they send a video out to tell you? Was this something
No,
like,
it was
please?
like I said, good old fashioned 5:30 a.m. call. Bastards. All right, what's
What?
this one?
This is a new one, and like I said, it is kind of cool that we get to see the talent in some of these smaller schools, and I don't even know where this one is, but I believe this is today as well. And I mean the bar's been raised, so here we go. Eases snow day question mark. So, sign there.
Look at that teacher writing,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so clear. It's whoa.
Nice graphics.
The abominable snowman sitting. They stole the Ice Baby.
This is pressure. Under pressure. This isn't the Vanilla Ice version. Ice Baby Fit. So he's reading the paper. Oh,
It's not even playing Ice Baby.
What? What am I looking at?
They have a really
Oh, we got when your mom tells you nice
That was a smooth
sound effects
trans-
under there. So they're playing little snippets of memes and videos. Michael Scott, I declare snow day.
This is the same video we're watching. This isn't
I
another-
guess.
Look at that poof. I like that one. Ha, poof.
Yeah.
You get a snow day. You get a snow day. You get a snow day.
Oprah.
Snow day. Snow day, February 7th.
Jesus had a good question there. What the hell am I looking at? That was an abominable snowman outfit,
Well,
the worst outfit I've ever seen. And like you said, Mike, he's doing the dun 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 dun, dun, but it was pressure.
Queen and David Bowie.
Under pressure.
Pressure coming down on you. And he's got this really bad abdominal
Abominable.
abominable snowman mask and bodysuit on with the gloves, and it's typical like teacher's desk where they would make morning announcements. So there's that intercom mic or whatever sitting
It's really
there,
bad, man.
and so that song is playing,
And I
then
don't know why.
he's reading the paper, and as the song gets up, he throws the paper, and then his
A real
lip-syncing
solid
along.
transition into those memes, by the way. Really,
Smooth. It was smooth.
Do we know what school system that was?
Holt
I-
Public School.
I didn't even look.
It said
Holt,
hash-
Michigan?
I think.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
It's
Hashtag
embarrassing.
Holt something at the end. Snow day.
The
so.
Holt knees should be embarrassed by that.
Dude, that is just. Dude, when I hear, it's like, what would up this another notch? Can anyone from the AV department figure out how to get some crowd effects like cheering underneath this? And it's like there's no smooth transition. Levels are all over the place. It just comes blasting in out of nowhere, and you're like, what the?
Yeah, not a good example if they have some sort of audio visual class, graphic design, whatever it is.
I understand they're young
It's bad.
kids, and oh god, dude, it's just.
Hey, on a better
It's
note,
hard.
Jesus, did you have something you wanted to say about our fine folks over at Twin Peaks?
I dare you.
At Twin Peaks, there is something from the made-from-scratch menu for every fan's appetite. The perfect sidekick to any meal is a featured rotating tap served at a frosty 29 degrees in a 22-ounce man-sized mug. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
Very well.
Thank you,
stated,
thank you.
Jesus.
I appreciate
You know,
that.
Jay, we were going to talk about the branding on this show a few days ago, and we never got around to it. Do we dare tip our toes
I suppose, yeah.
into that subject?
Sure.
Because
In the immediate future, the concern was the merchandise.
right. If
Uh,
people are out buying Detroit Cast gear right now,
Yeah, we're gonna have a bit of a rebrand.
yeah, so we just wanted to give people a heads up. I mean, go buy what you want. That's awesome, but we were like, I don't want people calling us going, you motherfuckers, man, I just bought this.
Yeah.
So
There will be some sort of notice on the merch page, like just warning, like, hey,
Yeah.
this is gonna be obsolete in a little bit. If you still want it, cool.
yeah. retro it stuff. But Jay and I have fought with this internally for I don't know 4 years now.
How long have I been here?
5 years.
Yeah.
And there were I don't know how much in the weeds we want to get, but there were very specific reasons why it was called the Detroit Cast and not the Mike and Mike Show or the Clark Cast, or I got stung really bad with the Drew Cast because of the way that Apple Podcast was set up. Like when I was like, oh, it's not the Drew Cast anymore, we're gonna do the Clark Cast or Mike and Mike, whatever we're gonna call it. They were like, well, then you start from scratch, sir, because it's not, people signed up for this. They didn't sign up for the Mike and Mike Show. They subscribed to the Drew Cast. And so I literally had lost everything. And it was like, fuck, I knew Clark wasn't going to be here long term, because he was like, well, it's called the Clark Cast. And like competitively, you call it the Drew Cast.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck no.
Not going through that again.
There's no way you're going to be here 4 years from now, sir. No offense. So it was like, I can't do that. And so in a pinch, it was like the Detroit Cast. And experts that we've talked to over the years now are like, guys, that name is holding your show back more than you can ever know. Because would you listen to the Kansas Cast? And it's like, well, no, probably
Fuck,
not.
No, wouldn't even press go.
You wouldn't start there.
No
matter
what. Why would I care what guys in Kansas are saying?
Right.
Screw them.
And it's like, yeah, but our show's very little to do with Detroit. We purposely don't spend that much time talking about Detroit shit. And it's like, doesn't matter. First glance, you're just going to assume by the title that it's Detroit based and Detroit topics. And so we've fought with that for a long, long time and had a lot of industry people tell us, guys, seriously, you have to at some point switch gears. I don't care what you call it. Mike and Jay's show, call it something else. And so we finally decided to go forward with that. Like, okay, let's just do it. It's a nightmare to change everything behind the scenes. And so with that in mind, we don't know exactly when. It's coming sooner than later, but basically wanted to tell people if they were thinking about buying brand new stuff right now today, that don't be pissed off at us if it changes. And then
correct.
Yeah. But I still think that stuff's cool. Get it while it lasts.
Of course.
Right?
No, everyone likes retro. Everyone doesn't like throwback.
Yeah, everyone loves throwback shit, right? Am I right?
Hell yeah.
By the way, before I forget, as I'm looking at you got a show coming up this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I probably shouldn't have just sprung that on you, but
Sorry.
I heard you guys talking about it last night on Grind Time with DMAC and the boys. They gave you guys a nice plug. So if you can pull that up, we can give it a mention. So yeah, was there anything else about the branding, Jay, that was
no, more to come. Obviously it's a big move, so we'll have more info to come, but we just, because the decision was made, for sure we wanted to let people know that about merch.
Yeah. Is it fucking ice cold in here?
Yeah, I've got a door open.
Why?
Dude,
no,
I literally have a contact buzz right now. I mean, as soon as I walk in through the garage, it hits me.
Yeah.
And so yeah, just trying to air it out.
What is the buzz from? Is it like strobe lights or something?
That would be the marijuana.
Do you have a sensitive system?
I do, man.
You have a sensitive
I guess.
system?
I don't
Your
know.
system sucks, dude. You can't get flashing lights without seizing.
I know.
Or potentially seizing. And you're struggling to find
I can't sit in a room less than 24 hours after a pound of weed was smoked. Yes, for the record, I cannot.
Actually, they weren't smoking during the show, were they? I didn't think.
Yeah,
oh boy, I didn't come down here, but there's gonna be some changes, Jay. Just so you know, with new studio equipment, we're not gonna, that's gonna change. So.
Oh, I know.
Darren McCarty is doing he's doing a night of entertainment. The Grind Time podcast presents. And also appearing with him as he's telling, Darren tells great stories about his days with the Wings and stuff. It's a fun night. Eric Fady, host of the Detroit Cast, and they picked up on that. I think they heard us talking about our old host over here, and so they played out nicely off that last night. And so Tony Vasic will be there February 9th, which is this Saturday, the Jewel Golf Course in Grand Blanc. Shows at 7, doors at 6. Food available at Patty McGee's. Go upstairs to Patty McGee's. Get yourself some food. And 586-216-6805 for tickets. 586-216-6805. And I think, you're doing like 15, 20?
Yeah, 10, 15.
Nice.
Yeah.
For sure, the Chicago hooker story.
You know what?
Darren asked that.
That's the problem.
I get the Chicago hooker story right. And he goes,
I am going to do it.
Hell yes.
Nice. It's a fucking great story.
Right.
I know Jay busts your balls about it a lot, but it's
all right.
It's funny as shit.
Yeah, for sure.
It is. Well, Liam Neeson is not a bigot, Jay. He's not.
Says he.
No, Whoopi Goldberg. Even better. But she's got her own past with blackface. I mean, not her. She's got actually blackface.
Ted Danson went blackface with her.
Yeah.
To something, right? Some award show or something.
Yeah, and I know that Liam Neeson's not the blackface thing, but in this world of blackface, she's got to be careful about,
And she sits
going
with
too hard.
Joy Behar on that View show, and did you see the picture that it's hitting her? Oh yeah, she apparently she showed a picture on the show a couple of years ago. Joy Behar did.
There's Sam Malone.
Yeah, Joy Behar is apparently taking shit because she dressed as a beautiful African woman, as stated by her.
Oh,
she did darken her skin a little bit. She didn't go so far as Ted.
No. Did she say she went as a beautiful African woman?
She did.
And did she?
Let me pull up the quote, Mike.
Did she just do just a little bit of light? Because as you know, we've learned it's really hard to get off if you put too much on there. Was that the problem she learned? First couple times bitter.
I thought for sure you'd have pulled this story.
Oh, dude, I didn't see it. No, I didn't see it. See if you can. I want to see the picture though. So she's trying to get out in front.
No, I think somebody pulled this out and said, "Don't you remember 2 years ago when Joy Behar did this?"
Oh,
but go ahead to Whoopi Goldberg.
Well, yeah, she's defending Liam Neeson is not a bigot, and good for her. Is that it? Is that Joy?
Yeah.
What is a beautiful African woman? Okay, I can't even tell that's her.
I know.
That's funny.
Do you remember what her
She
response to this was on the show, or not really?
I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's claimed, look, I've known Liam for years, and she was speaking on The View. People shouldn't be surprised by Liam's desire to attack after hearing a loved one had been raped. People walk around with, sometimes with rage. That happens. Is he a bigot? No. I've known him a pretty long time. I think I would have recognized. I've been around a lot of real bigots. I can say this man is not one. He's denied being a racist since admitting wanting to kill. And I'm looking for a black bastard.
Hit him with my
kosh. Where's my kosh? So, Robin Roberts asked him if he understood the pain of a black person hearing his words.
Are you going to really say Robin Roberts and not
fucking? Well, I don't think I'm allowed to outwardly, vocally.
I want to hear a shut up, Robin.
Like, I don't think I can do that. She's a black woman who's a lesbian. That right? That's not attackable.
Actually.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Can you attack black lesbians?
Whew. The intersectionality there is pretty strong.
I never cared that she was black or that she liked pussy. Like, dude, I get it. I like pussy too. How can I fault her for that? But it's like, I don't need to see color to be like, fucking shut up, Robin. Shut up. When did you turn into such a fucking pussy? So anyway, she asked if he understood the pain. Well, absolutely. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. At the time, even though it was nearly 40 years ago, I didn't think about that. It was this primal hatred, I guess, that really shocked me when I eventually came down to earth and saw what I was doing, looking for a fight. When asked how he would feel if his friend's attacker was white, if he was Irish, a Scot, a Brit, or a Lithuanian, I know I would have had the same reaction. Might be the best quote he's had yet. He's walking around just looking for some black bastard. This Kosh. Did you find her quote?
I did. A long-forgotten video clip from ABC's The View resurfaced on Wednesday that showed co-host Joy Behar trying to explain a Halloween costume from when she was younger. Clip was shared by the Rap media editor John Levine. Behar was seen discussing a New York Times op-ed about the resurgence of curly hair during the show in 2016. Behar showed her colleagues in the audience a picture of herself with curly hair when she was 29 years old. The co-host appeared surprised by her drastically different look. Yeah. Raven Simone, a former co-host, asked, "Joy, are you black?" She says, "I was so cute." "Joy, are you my auntie, Joy?" says Raven Simone. Behar explained that the picture was taken at a Halloween party where she dressed up as a beautiful African woman and stressed that it was her actual hair. "Did you have tanning lotion on, Joy?" Raven said. Behar responded by saying she wore makeup, quote, "that was a little bit darker than my skin," end quote.
Interesting.
Does that fall into the category? I think that does fall into the category of blackface in a sense. Not to be a dick about it, but if you're going to a Halloween party
dressed as a beautiful African woman,
and by the way, at the time of that Halloween party, she did not go as beautiful African woman. Period. End of discussion. She went as black lady.
Yeah,
I went as a black lady.
Yeah, what is she, like 90 now? So that was, how many years ago?
So she went as, fine, give her the benefit of the doubt. She went as beautiful African woman, and used a shade of makeup on her skin that is darker than normally. Why would she do that?
Yeah,
Because she was going as black chick to a party.
and apparently
That's why.
nobody's allowed to do that. Nobody.
So I don't think we've had this discussion yet of like, how black can I make my face before I'm in blackface?
Right. Yeah, it's interesting.
You know? Because some guys are like fucking shoe polish black. It's like, sir, turn it down.
'Cause I'm pretty sure Joy had a thing or two to say about Megyn Kelly when she asked the question, like, why is that wrong
Yeah.
to dress up as somebody you admire for Halloween? If it's Diana Ross, you admire her, you're dressing up like her. Why is it wrong? Oh my God!
And that was the funniest part about that was like, she wasn't even defending
She
it.
wasn't advocating it, defending
No.
it. She just and for everybody who said, we just need to have the conversation. Well, there you go.
There you go.
There's the conversation. Instead of having the conversation, she was broomed.
Yeah, and it was so fraudulent because if you look at articles now, it's like, well, she was fired. The last straw was when she was.
They wanted her out so bad. That was just
yeah, for sure
done.
they did.
They ended up paying her entire contract
Yeah.
amount, by the way.
Of course.
Was it 62 mil or something?
Oh, perfect. Great.
Good for her. We knew that was a retarded, stupid fit right from the jump, but
If I can get to the point where I
the
had
bullshit.
62 million coming and all I got to do is then I get to get broomed. Just
Yeah.
crazy. I had some rebel flags back in the day. Oh, and then I'm just out of here. Fine. I'll go sit on a beach.
Oh, these guys who get paid to sit out, like Kumia has all those famous stories about it.
Oh, yeah.
What a dream.
2 years.
What a dream.
Sit out full payment.
Didn't you say, Mike?
Kubi
that-
said in his book, he's talking about it. Like, me and the girl went to fucking this island somewhere and hung out for a couple weeks. And then it was like packing up our bags and we go down to the front desk and he looks at her and he's like, where the fuck are we going? Like, why don't we just stay here? And she's like,
Okay.
yeah. He's like, hey, can we just bring our shit back up and just stay in there for a couple more weeks? They're
That's
like,
awesome.
sure. He's like, why are we going home? Like,
Why are we going
what's
nowhere to
there?
go?
We got nowhere to go or be. I'm getting paid in full anyways. Let's just hang out here. But the bullshit with the Megyn Kelly thing was, if you read articles now, it's like, oh, the last straw was when she was advocating for blackface, when she's supported people going in blackface. It was like, that is not at all what she did.
That's a misrepresentation.
At least, yeah, totally. At least be honest about it. I get why you wanted her out. The ratings sucked. She never fit in. She never should have fit
They
in.
misjudged her. She's a lightweight.
Yeah.
She was a facilitator kind of show host. She wasn't a deep dive, compelling person who could handle anything, but just kind of facilitating the two talking heads.
Right. And exactly. But in that world, people could not get over Fox News. She was Fox News. Fuck her.
Yeah.
They wanted to go. I know, the famous clip of her saying Jesus is white or Santa is white, and not black. And like those clips would pop up every time anyone talked about it. So she really didn't have a chance in that environment, in that fucking super liberal world of the NBCs, ABCs of the world. She was never going to fit in. So they were dying to broom her.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Olympics shit. She was calling out Matt Lauer and stuff like that. So anyway, Liam Neeson, yeah, I don't know if he skates from this one or what, but I hope he does. I mean, I don't know. It did sound bad, though, hearing the other this. Waiting for some black bastard.
Well, like the one day is one
Jesus,
thing.
dude.
You got the rage the one day, but like the week later.
He's still looking for that.
I still want to know, like, if he
Where's
had
my
a job.
car? Where's my Kosh?
If you know what I mean?
It's a crazy story and thought, but remember, the whole thing is told like, hey, this is something I'm ashamed of.
Right.
Don't
He
forget
says that right in there. He says,
Yeah.
I'm ashamed to even say this.
It's the way he said it. Like, this happened. What color was he? Is it black? And then it was like, he wasn't looking for that black guy. What was he wearing?
Oh, I understand.
No, I know,
how
but
awful
that's
it is.
why it was. That's why it's like he's ashamed of it. Well, he should be ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Like, and not just like, oh, I thought about it. No, you went walking up and down the streets with a Kosh, just looking for any black bastard to have a go at me so I could kill him.
It's an extreme and embarrassing disclosure, and the guy, but to be ruined over something that he's claims to have turned away from and learned from. It's pretty crazy.
Recognized the madness of what was going on and the rage, and went and sought out help from a priest to like.
Just another example of like, hey, don't be honest, guys.
Yeah,
Don't nobody ever be honest or admit anything in your past.
It's a great
you will
point.
be punished. Hey, due to the tremendous demand, Zot Ford and Holly is conducting its amazing Key for Key event. Again, Exchange your current vehicle for a brand new Ford without spending a dime out of pocket. Their goal is to match or lower your monthly payment. Zot Ford will assist you in terminating the remainder of your loan or lease, no matter what you owe. Give them the keys to your old turd mobile, and Zot Ford will provide you the keys to a brand new Ford. Plus, Zot Ford will make your first month's payment.
I know we don't want to stick on this whole blackface topic too much, but there's more of these coming out. There's a North Carolina Chapel Hill yearbook from like
nothing to do with this guy though.
I know, but this is a weird place we're at right now where it's like, well, shit, if it was going on there, why don't we troll every fucking school that any of these people went to and see if there's anything disparaging we can find as op research? And it's like, this is going to get scary if we're just trolling everybody's.
Those in class houses, right?
Yeah.
No, it is a very scary standard that's being put out there. But this one is bothersome because it has nothing to do with the individuals. The North Carolina governor, was it? Or another Democratic governor.
Yes, it's Ray Cooper's yearbook is what they found. So they went back to
Ray Cooper is who?
He is the Democrat Roy Cooper. What was he? I don't know. I get these guys confused. I think he's the governor.
I think
maybe. So. And so they go through this yearbook and it's like, well, he's not in any of the pictures. Trust me, we've tried to find some. If we can find some, we'll show them to you. But they've got pictures in there of.
It's crazy. Look at this shit that's in there.
People in absolute blackface, Klan robes, mock lynchings. Like, dude, look at some of these pictures. Like, what?
I know.
On what planet would that have been acceptable? I mean, dude, I'm.
Fraternity shenanigans. What?
And makes it into the yearbook to be there forever. Nobody ever went, hey, guys, I know you're fucking around, playing around, probably not cool, but we don't want this in there. Look at all these images. Couple over here in absolute blackface. I mean,
that's just
it's shocking to me. These are from a frat. He wasn't even in that frat, so you're right.
Roy Cooper, North Carolina governor, just happens to have gone to this school. So this is a bullshit story other than to shine light on the fact that, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
There's how much of this was going on?
Well,
I got an email, E. Pull that up when you have a chance.
Yeah.
We'll read that email in a second.
This is on the heels of what is it? 3 Democratic leaders in a row that are facing the 2 of them with blackface picture issues that they're directly involved in. The Michael Jackson moonwalking one, and that was Ralph Northam, right? Was that one? And then Justin Fairfax is
deputy,
like second in line, and he's the one that apparently made that chick suck his dick in a hotel room at the
allegedly
at the DNC convention, the Democratic National Convention.
Then you go
a few years
third
ago.
in line to the Attorney General, and he apparently has a blackface issue where he dressed up as Curtis Blow.
Mark Herring, Curtis Blow.
So now the fourth in line is a Republican.
So what do? Do you stand on your? Because there's been a side of that party that has really been trying to take people down. Like, it's unforgivable. You believe all women. You believe all women until one of them happens to be on your team accused of sucking one of your team members' dicks. And now you're hearing crickets about that. But what happened to, women must be believed?
Well, now there's political repercussions.
Exactly, which is the fucking bullshit that you see about this. Because if they really had a moral stance that they were fighting for, all 3 of them are broomed. End of discussion.
Yeah.
Done. Over.
I'd like to understand what the standard is. I think most people would. Now, Isis, let me do this email real quick.
Okay.
So this lends to this discussion of how prevalent is this blackface shit. Mark writes in, King, your discussion on how we collectively would have reacted to blackface in the 80s made me think. I'm not sure I gave it much thought as a kid back then, being a white kid in a mostly white town. Our high school of 1,500 had a handful of black students, and I don't recall it being an issue at all with these kids being smart, cool, and great athletes. But it took me 30 seconds to check in my old yearbook, and I quickly found 2 blackface pics. What the fuck? Must have been Halloween at school. I don't recall these idiots who they are, but this is 1991. This is 1991. What the?
Honestly, though,
maybe Halloween was an exception, right? Where it's just like, Halloween, it's a free for all. You do.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
And it's
see
not
this the same?
minstrel related, you know. You're
Yeah.
not like dressing up like dancing around. Oh, you silly black performers.
I don't
mean,
see this
if
the same
you-
at all.
what is it, Kumo D or fucking Curtis Blow? He's dressed up as.
Dude, don't confuse Cool Mo D with Curtis Blow.
You know what
please.
that actually is? My name is Humpty. With an Humpty.
Yeah,
Isn't that-
1991.
I once
Probably.
got busy in a Burger King bathroom. Isn't that a fake black nose there? That might be.
Maybe.
That might be that.
The Humpty
Dance is your chance to do the hump. I
Do
once
it,
got.
baby. You do the Humpty Hump. Watch
Never
me
do the Humpty Hump.
Hump.
Tupac was rolling with him in that crew for a
Come
while.
on.
Digital Underground. Yeah,
Are
that's
you
where
serious?
Tupac got his start
Wow.
with them. Yeah, yeah.
Who's still alive, by the way?
Seems
Oh, I
pretty
know he
soft.
is. Well, you know what? Thank you for reminding me.
According,
Pull that
according
video.
to Mr. Casino.
Mr. Casino. We'll do that. We'll get to that in just a second because
Okay.
that's very relevant. We found out that Tupac is in fact still alive. We've got it on pretty good authority. I was going to ask you though, Jay. In honesty, like we would have never done that, I don't think. But if we were going to Halloween, right?
I could
it was
see
me,
somebody
you,
doing a
and-
Jamaican thing. You referenced that yesterday. I could totally see someone have done. I feel like someone did, but
Well, we used to. It was common for us to get together. We were always together. It was like you and Derek and me and Troy. It's like it wouldn't have been a thing for us to be at your house or my house, like getting ready for Halloween together for to go to a party, right? If we went, dude, let's go as Tribe Called Quest and started what I
I would have gone with Run DMC or
NWA.
something. Personally.
Fine, Run
I'd
Run
have gone
DMC.
De La Soul. But okay, go ahead. Point well taken.
Yeah. So who are we now? Run DMC or
You know what's
Tribe
funny?
De La Soul.
De La
Mike,
Soul, okay.
Mike made the grave mistake in this group. No one can give the first example because the first example is just going to get shit
gets
on,
poo-pooed.
no matter
does get
what.
poo-pooed. I was gonna say Living Color. Can we go to Living Color? But okay, so we're De La Soul, and we start putting blackface on. Would one of our parents have said something like, "Guys, that's really inappropriate. What are you doing?" Or would it have just been like, "Crazy guys, get out of here, you"?
I don't
Like
know.
honestly, I don't. If I'm being totally honest,
Yeah.
we never did that. I don't.
Yeah.
I'd like to think we never would have, but we could have been insensitive pricks too, and basically just ignorant. If anything, we would have just been ignorant, stupid kids.
Yeah.
But
I think the biggest obstacle, honestly, would have been more like, "Fuck, is this stuff gonna come off?"
yeah,
You know, like how the fuck? This is a big commitment here. You know, I'm the guy who puts a couple eye holes in a sheet and goes as a ghost.
Oh,
From
just
a-
ghost again.
Seems like a huge commitment to me.
From a guy who painted his face for like sporting events many times,
a
it
bitch?
is a commitment.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
definitely is. It gets you can't itch it. You can't freaking like you have to like not touch your face. It's
Dude,
on there.
this is okay. We're revealing something here, but absolutely we would have never gone in blackface simply for the work involved and the comfort level. Jay changed the game in our crew because we started to get advanced with Halloween costumes and get-ups and masks, and Jay was like, "Can't drink a beer through that. Nope, can't do it."
The problem
And-
was T-Roy in that big fight. What was he? A table.
He was a beer on a
He
table.
was a goddamn beer on a table, and I looked at this. I said, "This is the most impractical thing I've ever seen."
He came in with like a full, like cardboard handmade
Couldn't get
table
through
on
the
his
door.
shoulders.
He built it inside his house and had to have the party at his house.
Yeah, and so and then
To
he,
accommodate his
a party
costume.
now.
so, and it had the red and white checkered like fucking
Yeah.
tablecloth, and then his head poked through the middle of the table. He glued a salt and pepper shaker down on the table and like a ketchup bottle, and then
It was
his
well
mask.
done. It was
His
well done.
mask was a giant foaming beer mug, like a glass of beer, and so his head's in there. It's just a beer mug on a table, and it was like he's walking around the party. He looked like he was playing football, the shoulder pad size back in the 70s.
Yeah,
It was massive.
ridiculous.
You're ducking under the table every time T-Roy walks by. It was like, no, dude, no.
Mobility's the key on
Yeah.
Halloween.
If I'm going as anything, it's going to be, something where my face and my hands are free at all times because those masks get sweaty and
Yeah,
hot
it's
and
awful.
gross. Terrible.
Yeah, so that would have been a huge obstacle.
We
Other
would
than the
never put the
racism.
time into that.
Take a
Putting,
side.
right, racism
Yeah.
aside, like that is
Totally.
a big obstacle to be like, dude, this is just dumb. What are we doing?
And and that's it. The thought in our head would not be like, guys, come on, that's inappropriate, man. You don't want to do that. It's insensitive. It's racist. It would have been like, nah, that's just way too much work. I'm not doing that. So,
but it's totally flipped. Like today, it would be right. Like you would, and you wouldn't just be thinking about the social media backlash. You'd be thinking like, this isn't sensitive. Why am I doing this?
yeah.
So when did that flip, man?
Not that long ago. I'm telling you. I remember
Because here's Mark with 1991. You know, and you're talking about 1991, our high school years.
Yeah.
You know, when did this flip where Halloween became off limits?
Well, it's been going really fast away from that lately, because over the last 10 years is when we've really started to see the ramp up of like, oh my God, she dressed up as an Oriental person. Are you? That's what we
You
started
don't
hearing.
say Oriental, you say Asian, Mike.
Well, whatever.
Check yourself.
What?
wow.
Check your privilege, you son of a
Jesus
bitch.
Christ!
Sorry.
You might want to. I hope you have some leaders on the phone.
If anything
you
happens
get
to me, I'll
home.
grab my kosh and I'll go looking for some Oriental bastard to come and have a go with me so I can kill him. No, I don't remember what my train of
Well,
thought
here,
was before I got all
can I say
racist
something?
and stepped on line. No, but the cultural appropriation, that's when we
Yeah.
started seeing that. You know, hey, man,
Yeah, yeah.
dreadlocks guy, you know, it's like, it's fucking cultural appropriation. We're like, dude, it's a Halloween costume, man. Fuck off.
Well, I'll tell you this. I had a friend one time who was at State, and he went as a, dressed as a girl, got a nice, did it really good, nice skirt, got the, he's like, dude, it was the best costume I ever had. Everybody at the bar was like, oh, fucking, I need to get a beer. And like kind of hitting on him, quote unquote, and stuff. So I did it like 2011-ish probably. And honestly, if I was just thinking about it now, like if I were to go to a costume party now and, with the dress on, the skirt, and have my little
Yeah.
purse.
Yeah,
dude,
I'd
it'd be
bet,
kind of iffy, dude.
I
I don't think I
promise
would
you,
do it.
I don't know who would come after the trans community or
No, just
one
woke
of those
bays,
woke bays. Yeah, but
But when
we're woke bays.
I mean, if you
wouldn't-
happen to run into one of the 0.07% of the population who
Yeah.
are actually quote unquote trans, and maybe they do come after you. But yeah,
So
the woke bays would come after you.
what is
E.
the crime? Is this some sort of stolen valor? Like if he dresses up like a woman,
Yeah, you're being facetious. You're being disrespectful.
you're mocking it.
Yeah.
And dude, 100% the time I did, and again, I think it was like 2011. Everybody at the party, I have pictures with like everyone's like getting pictures with me, I got my purse and
Yeah.
shit. And
But
it's like,
here's the thing for me is that it's no longer like I'm no longer willing to do that because people have said like that's disrespectful.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there
I
was a
agree.
time where you'd go, fuck you, whatever.
Yeah.
But when did it then flip where I was convinced in my mind, like, yeah, maybe dressing up like a tranny or maybe of course going blackface.
Well, yeah.
Like I will not do it because people of that race or of that persuasion would not want me to do that.
Yeah, I heard someone
It's like
said
the
it-
N-word, people get all bent out. Well, black people say it. You know what? Black people have asked that white people not say it. I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't need to say that word.
Right.
So I'm the same way with like this,
Someone said it, and I can't remember where I heard it, and it really hit because similar to what you're saying right there. And someone was like,
You're thinking of-
well, why is this inappropriate? It's like, because a fucking black guy said you shouldn't say it.
dude,
That's
you're thinking
why.
of Jeff Horst, who we had in here, the comic.
Is that who it was?
Yeah, he had a
that said
bit.
it?
Yeah, he had a bit about that where he's like, "Oh, why don't they could say it?" And he's like, "How about this? This is the only reason you need because black people asked us not to. How about that?"
Yeah, that's always
that's good
been my
enough.
stance on it too. Like,
And
I don't need to use that word, and if they say it's just okay, I can
Here's the-
give them that.
Yeah, it's not a hill to die on by any means.
God no.
And to me, this is there's a fine line here with that one because I don't like censorship. I don't like newscasters saying the N word as in N, symbol.
Mhm.
We know what you're doing. We know what you're saying. Either say it or fucking don't. You're not going, look at these N's running wild. You're going, he called him that Empire black faggot nigger. And it's like, that's what he said. Report that in the story. I'm not using that as a weapon. I'm quoting that as a story as an adult and a professional. And I think that's a difference.
yeah.
And so
Yeah, that
that's
is
the
weird.
fine line for me.
Well, that's what Louis C.K.
But-
says. Remember, he has that bit where he says, like,
He's
dude,
got a
now you're
ton of
making me
bits.
saying it. Like,
Yeah,
because
it's a
they said
brilliant
the
bit.
N-word, now you're making me in my
You
head.
can solve the whole thing by putting an AH on the end.
Right.
I put the H on it to emphasize it.
Yeah,
Like, ah.
that poor bastard.
Why is this word used so frequently?
I need
So
help.
I just don't understand
What
it.
was he-
And I'm trying to understand it.
What was
I
he-
need help.
What was he thinking when he's doing this interview? How is he like?
Yeah,
it's like, isn't it going
He's
in
in a
his
spine.
head?
He's in a tailspin. I mean,
He's like-
he's just trying to get above water again, just get a grasp of air. Okay, so let me say this, Jay, because we've gone down this road, right? And here we are. is it possible to get the message across that it is fucking off limits to go blackface unless people have had this obnoxious reaction that they've had? Because the truth is, without that, maybe it's just kind of whatever. Who cares? No one's really saying anything. No one's really bitching. Without the overwhelming, under no circumstances, fucking fired, lose your job. Without that,
it's a bunch of white people saying that too, right?
Right. Now, I don't approve of that. I don't like that. But the fact of the matter is, you and I would not have gone in blackface more for convenience. And it wouldn't have been like disrespectful in our minds. We just wouldn't have thought about it. It would have been ignorant as shit. Now, had we done that, gone to some wild party, hey, we're having a fucking ghetto party. Those existed. We're having a ghetto theme party, you know, and people would do blackface if you didn't know any better. And now 30 years later, it's like, Jay's a great fucking dude. I'm a decent person. Do our lives deserve to be destroyed?
No, of course not.
For some stupid shit you did back then? Because that's basically what you're doing to Liam Neeson or these governors. Yeah. You know, the problem with these cocksuckers is the hypocrisy of it. They've been calling people out left and right. Anybody does anything, you know, that they can point to as racist or sexist. They want people broomed. So it's like, yeah, that's how it feels, dickhead. You deal with it.
No, unless you're perfect and you've had a perfect past, I think you have to be really troubled and scared about the standard and the lack of any leeway given.
Yeah,
it's dangerous as hell. It may, like, Republicans may be chuckling at the Virginia governor, but damn right they're checking all their social media and their yearbooks right now.
Yeah, and they're gonna find some shit too.
Yeah.
Period. Mark Herring, I was getting these guys confused. Was he third blackface guy? I believe he
Attorney General.
He's third in line, and he's the one that had the emergency closed door meeting with the Black Caucus to let them know.
Look,
let's be honest. Just
you ought to know
at least once.
Curtis Blow.
Yeah,
big fan.
That when he released a statement, and I'm reading it, and as I'm reading it, I'm like, you fucking lying sack of shit. I'm skeptical, and I think the reason is because you're a politician, and I think you're trying to save your skin and whatever you have to say. But I think tell me if you think this is a sincere apology or sincere statement.
Okay.
And if I'm being unfair by being cynical. The very bright light that is shining on Virginia right now is sparking a painful, but I think we all hope important conversation. The stakes are high and our spirits are low. I am sure we all have done things at one time or another in our lives that show poor judgment and, worse yet, have caused some level of pain to others. I have a glaring example from my past that I have thought about with deep regret in the many years since, and certainly each time I took a step in public service, realizing that my goals and that this memory could collide. My goals and this memory could collide and cause pain for people I care about, those who stood with me in the many years since, or those who I hope to serve while in office. In 1980, he tells the Curtis Blow thing. It was a one-time occurrence, and I accept full responsibility. Although the shame of that moment has haunted me for decades, and though my disclosure of it now pains me immensely, what I am feeling in no way compares to the betrayal, the shock, and the deep pain that Virginians of color may be feeling. Where they have deserved to feel heard, respected, understood, and honestly represented, I fear my actions have contributed to them being forced to revisit and feel a historical pain that has never been allowed to become history. That I have contributed to the pain they felt this week is the greatest shame I have ever felt. Forgiveness in instances like this is a complicated process, one that should not be decided by anyone but those directly affected by the transgressor. Should forgiveness be possible or appropriate at all? In the days ahead, honest conversations will make it clear whether I can or should continue to serve as Attorney General, but no matter, I will say from the bottom of my heart, I'm deeply, deeply sorry for the pain that I caused with this revelation.
Is it fair to say that blackface rules haven't changed for decades, but Halloween rules have?
Yeah. Yeah, that's very fair to say.
That's the thing, right?
This is like, in a weird way, it's like, oh, by the way, they changed the speed limit and dropped it down to 40, 45 on freeways. And then it's like, Jay, you've been doing 75. Here's $8 million in tickets you owe. And you go, dude, but it was
retroactively banging me for that.
Exactly. We're retroactively punishing people for shit that, honestly, kids, if you listen.
Well, in the instance of blackface, that was offensive at the time, it would be argued. You know, the 70 mile an hour speed limit was fine back then,
right?
Undisputedly.
Well,
but you can look back
and
go, it was bad judgment at the time.
It's just like the sexual assault stuff, though. Like, it's like we can't look at things in levels. Like, to me, those pictures the images we saw of them hanging a dude, You know what, man? That's pretty
Over the line.
fucking
It's
bad.
always been over the line.
Terrible.
But
You're right,
like,
E.
you're
That's
right,
that's
but-
a good distinction.
But
you're right.
you're dressing up as Run DMC,
Yeah.
dude. I don't think
That's what I'm
that-
saying. I think
yeah.
blackface rules have been the same the whole time, but Halloween rules have recently changed, and it's confusing some people.
So you're thinking minstrel shit
always
been
right. Yeah.
unacceptable. Clan,
Painting your lips bright red or white, you
Yes.
know, and black, really black paint on you and dancing around like a little Sambo guy. That's always been off limits.
a dual costume. I show up with a Klan hat on and Jay's in blackface, and I'm rocking around with a noose.
Always been off
Never
limits.
acceptable, and we've always known that.
Yes.
So to see those pictures in the yearbooks in '70, it's like,
And Joy Behar darkening her skin, I forgive her.
do you?
Yeah.
Well, I forgive her if you're not calling everyone else out for it.
I still forgive her. Either
Honestly,
way.
so do I. So do I. Are you kidding me, dude? I don't. Whatever. Elizabeth Warren to me is way worse. Her going, well, these were family stories that were told, and we were that bullshit. You knew, idiot, you weren't a fucking Indian. Are you shitting me? You are in no way a fucking Indian, part of a tribe. That is straight bullshit.
Dude, put it in this
And-
context. What if your great grandmother might have banged an Asian? Would you be identifying on court documents and things like that you're Asian?
Dude, great grandmother, maybe. Great grandmother is
May have banged an Asian.
May have for Warren. Great grandmother may have fucked an Indian.
But her family story was, I believe, great grandmother, you know, and
yeah,
that's what she believed, and that was the family tale, and that's why she was writing this shit down. But put it in that context.
that's dude. This
put yourself in that situation. Would you do that? No.
Can you imagine put down, because let's be honest, the reason she did it
to gain advantage.
You took a seat from that was meant for someone else.
A true minority.
Yes, trying, and I don't agree with a lot of that shit anyways. You know, I may the best man win, but whatever. The point was to try and level the playing field. These guys aren't getting much opportunity. They've had less advantage, and so if we got to give them a little boost to give them this seat, and Elizabeth Warren went, "Fuck you, I'm an Indian. Call me Running Bear." No, dude, that's bullshit. And they're coming out now like, well, it was my family. It's like, no, dude, stop. Just fucking stop and go, you know what? I'd have way more respect for her if she just went, you know what? It was classless, stupid, and insensitive. I played and took advantage of the fact that these stories had gone to my family. Of course, I'm not Indian. I thought, these stories were enough to make it.
But she has apologized, as you pointed out yesterday, which I didn't realize, but she's apologized 2 or 3 times now.
She's apologized a lot of times, and it's coming out now that, yeah, there are probably other forums that I did the same thing. Like, that was the thing. At this date, she decided I'm an Indian, and Native American was written on all this shit. And then 15 years later, it wasn't, and then it came back, made a quick appearance for the Harvard benefit to her. That to me is way worse than some kid in high school or in college 40 years ago dressing up as Curtis Blow. I mean, that's
another thing too. You take it. You have to look at those things, as he says, on a spectrum, just like the sexual assault Me Too issue. But you also have to look at youth, right?
Right.
And you have to go, you know what, fucking knuckleheads.
I mean,
as we talked about before, you grow as a person. Hopefully, you get better.
Yeah, it's sad because I vividly remember many times having arguments with my dad where he's like, "Son, you got to realize that life doesn't end when you're 17. Like, there are things you're doing right now that are going to affect you going forward. You have to fucking trust me when I say that." And I never, it was like, yeah, fuck the police, man. Yeah, fuck the system. I'm doing the shit my way. I look back now with shame. It's like, what a moron, unknowing idiot. You're
different than generations before you. It's just
I was pretty bad,
young man, testosterone and foolishness.
And that devil music in your head, Motley Crue,
shout at the devil. Fuck the system. Fuck the man. It's like you're a dork. I was a dork who didn't know shit.
Yeah.
And
ignorant fool.
Yes.
You wanted people to like his hair?
Definitely wanted people.
Dude, that was like 3rd grade.
No, he wanted people to like his hair when I knew him too.
No, I did not. I had 13 colics in my head, dude. It was a problem. Gosh. You know this. I've struggled with this issue forever. I'm gonna punch both of you. We got to take a break though, because he's big day in history.
This day in history with Big E coming up after the break.
We got to get our learn on, and then I got to show you a video of this poops. Oh man, this poops.
The cat.
Well, there's the cat too.
Oh my God.
This guy's playing dead. There's another guy, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm dead."
Oh, the mongoose.
Oh no, I'm dead.
The mongoose.
Yeah,
I
fucking love that, dude. We'll be back in a sec.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break. Shortcast continues now, bitches. Here are Mike and Jay.
All right. Welcome back to the show. Mike and Jay. God damn, is it cold.
cold.
Dude, it is. We might as well have been broadcasting from outside.
3 windows open and a door wall.
It's Jason's sensitive little system. So he gets a little
A pound of weed was smoked in here. Let's see.
Yesterday.
12 hours ago?
Yeah. It's a little sensitive.
Hey, everybody. Does your money work as hard as you do? You will spend upwards of 45 years working to support your lifestyle, provide for your family, and set aside money for retirement. Do you know if you'll be able to retire on your terms? How could you know if you don't have a plan? Let Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial help to make sure your money is working as hard as you are. Call Mark today, 248-626-2000. Ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Anyone else smell that? It's so sensitive in here. Should we get
I'm a pussy. It's cold in here. I'm a pussy. It's cold in here.
I went upstairs.
It's
My
cold.
lips
I'm a
were
pussy.
purple.
I'm
My
a
lips
pussy.
are purple.
It's
purple.
cold.
Are you going to sneeze? Is your little
Oh
system
my
going to make
God.
it? I smell a little marijuana. Shut the whole thing down. Let's broadcast outside with my sensitive system.
So sensitive. It's cold. It's cold.
I'm literally frozen to death. I'm like that cat. You're going to have to take me to the vet.
Show the cat.
We see the cat. Good boy.
I laughed so hard when I saw this cat. Now, realizing that the cat lived, I would not laugh at a dead frozen cat.
No.
But dude, when you see this cat,
Look at that poop. I pooped. I pooped.
look at that cat.
Yeah. I'm in a bit of a pickle.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know it's fine. Laugh now, pal.
Imagine how hard his body was as they just carried him in like a board.
Yeah.
Look at that thing.
Well, I went for a stroll outside and got a little carried away, and I could laugh it up, pal. But
little far from home that evening.
I got a coat on at all times, but it's not meant to be packed in ice.
Awesome.
He's in Montana. He's in an animal clinic for a week.
Yeah. Was he left in a tree for 3 days? Is that what happened?
Didn't we? I don't know. Didn't we? That's Fluffy. He's got a shit name. If that was Bill.
Keith?
Did you see Keith packed in ice? No. Oh man, yeah. Remember that story we were watching? I can't remember what it was. It was a real life thing of looking for a murder or something, and he froze a body in the thing. And they were like, "Oh yeah, it's just a block of ice with a body in it, and we have to literally sit here like an ice cube and watch it melt." It's like 3 days to thaw out. This little guy too, he's just sitting there freezing to death. So the owners of Fluffy found him in a snowbank.
I believe them.
Yeah, unresponsive.
I believe them.
And a little bit of fur matted with ice.
Yeah.
The low was 8 degrees out. And
in a snowbank.
He is a snowbank. Like
he looks like he's got a snow beard.
Look at that.
He's absolutely packed in what looks like snowballs stuck to his skin or his hair. Dr. Javon Clark told when they brought Fluffy to the clinic, her temperature was so low it didn't even register on the thermometer. So they, after about 2 hours of using warm water and blankets, I'm still freezing. So, God, Jesus, can't you just pull these things off me?
It's remarkable that it lived. Does it have brain damage or anything?
I don't know. I don't think so. So his temperature was still low, really low. So they took him to the animal hospital, and then he started showing signs of recovery. And then he's making a full recovery. He's back at home. He's amazing, and he's now an indoor cat.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys, for all the work. I really needed a hand. I was in a bad place. I was in a bad place a week ago, and I really appreciate you guys digging me out of the snows bank and helping me out. Look at that pink nose.
You've been sitting there silent. You've been cooking up a good 9 Lives joke or what? Come on. Your JPEs are falling short this month.
Absolutely.
9 Lives? No, I don't got a 9 Lives joke.
If he had 9 lives.
Oh, what are you gonna do, Mike?
Jay earmuffs.
Okay.
1 down, 8 to go. What was that, E? What did you want to say?
Oh. Am I supposed to repeat what I... Something?
I said earmuffs, idiot. You're the only one that heard it. Yes. Look at that poor guy, man. Wow.
1 down, 8 to go.
You zany son of a bitch.
Wow. Look at him pulling JPs out of his ass.
Mark
Good
it
job,
down.
E. He needed that. He needed that.
You know what?
1 down, 8 to go. That's brilliant, E. Brilliant.
I hate
they say cats have 9 lives.
They do. I get it.
Yeah.
Totally.
I held this back, actually, not from the show, but from a person. I told this to Mike, though, kind of. There was a person I was talking to at one point that referenced that they had had a friend, and it was the anniversary of a friend that had killed himself over a girl. And
Oh wait.
and I may have
That wasn't the punchline.
I
Oh,
may
I
have
thought
I thought about saying, well, if I had killed myself over every time a girl had hurt me, I'd still be dead, even if I was a cat, because I
That's
Yeah.
well
would have
put.
killed myself
yeah.
over 9 times.
He worded
So-
it better.
I know,
the first
I know. I didn't word it very well, but the idea was I would have killed
Yeah.
myself more than 9 times.
Yeah, in other words, all you pussies that get broken up and devastated over a chick.
Right.
If that happened to me every time, even if I was a cat, I'd be dead.
Got it.
Right.
yeah,
there, you
it's
said it a
the
little
whole-
better than I
And you're
just
gonna
did.
be bringing
Exactly.
strong shit like that on Saturday
Exactly.
with D-Mac, right? Okay,
Hell
good.
yeah.
Thank God.
All right, Easus. I'm ready to get my learn on, and Jay's a visual learner. Don't
I actually
disappoint
have a
him.
decent amount of photos this time.
This day in history with Big E.
So we were kind of actually talking about this recently, a little bit. But it's not. This was the first day in 1935 on January or February 7th, 1935. The first Monopoly game was sold, but it's not really. It's not that simple.
Bring up the game pieces,
well,
please.
here's
Do
the
we have
thing.
a thimble?
Yeah, if there's not a
Better at a
thimble,
race
it doesn't
car.
count.
I do not have that. Although I will tell you, I wasn't gonna get to this off the bat. But all those shiny pieces that we like, they were just the guy that finally kind of created it. His niece or something just had a charm bracelet, and he just took those off that bracelet, and
Oh,
those
no
were the
shit.
pieces.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because people, so here's the deal.
Can we see it? I'm
Had a
dying to
little
see it.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to-
schnauzer, and
here's
ironing
a-
board.
here's a
and
problem.
No, iron. Yeah, just
The
had random
iron-
shit.
So here's the thing.
The Landlord's
Colonel
game.
Mustard. Where's
This
Colonel
is
Mustard?
really like a lot of
Don't see
things.
him anywhere on there.
Like a lot of things, nothing starts right where it was. Really, the beginning of Monopoly really started with the Landlord's game created by this Liz Maggie.
Yeah, hideous old woman.
And it was completely she was starting to get really disturbed by capitalism and that greed was going to ruin America, and she created this game, which was supposed to be an educational game to help
Created
us.
by Elizabeth Ocasio-Cortez.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
These
Dude.
are some hideous women.
They
Is that a man
are.
in drag?
Shit.
Why were women so fucking gross in those
I
early
know.
days? Can you go back to that last one?
Yeah, sure.
I think the Monopoly cash and the houses have not changed all that much.
Doesn't
Well,
look like
this
it.
might be an up. I assume that this is
That's the Landlord's game we're looking at.
I understand.
Are you
Um,
satisfied with the size of the lake and the island? Too big? Too
Yeah,
much?
what are we looking at?
So my point was though, that's what I was trying to say. So back in the day when things again, it's not we don't have the internet. So this lady creates this, and it was supposed to be an educational tool. She saw it even as in colleges, teaching kids about how more of a Georgism thing where it's
Come again?
kind of the idea of sharing things, the idea that yes, everybody
it's
works.
the Georgism part that I'm-
Socialism, basically.
Oh, socialism.
But
Georgism, whatever.
Well,
Sure.
no, there's this thing that was specifically she modeled it after this Georgism, also called geoism, a single tax. I didn't know if you wanted me to get into this, but a single
Well,
tax.
you brought it up. You could have ignored that word. None of us would have asked about the
okay,
tax
you're right.
system
You're right.
and
Okay, I
Georgism.
shouldn't have even done that.
Yeah,
but
shit, you brought
basically,
that on
she was
yourself.
trying to make this game to show as a learning tool to tell people that's again not big men were bad. It was supposed to be a teaching thing. People didn't really. It kind of worked, but it kind of didn't. No one. She brought it to Parker Brothers. They were like, nah, no thanks.
Her look didn't help.
So
But then
board
she
games were prevalent back then?
She
Like
makes
how-
it. Well, this was all. Well, I will say this. There were
First
but,
board game. What's the first board game?
I don't know,
Oh,
but
I need some context.
Yeah.
You know?
this was the first game
I think it was
ever that had
Mousetrap.
this was the first game that ever had a continuous cycle though. Every game before this that they have noted, there was a very start and an end. Whereas in Monopoly, as we know, there's the bankruptcy and it kind of doesn't have a timer. So this was the first of that
Well,
type of
what we
style
do
game.
know, Jay, it would have been the Pong of board games. Whatever the first one was would have been shit.
Oh, right.
It
It
was
would have
another
been
version
Shoots
of
and
kinda-
ladders, something like that.
This is
Yeah,
another
yeah,
kind
life.
of another.
Yeah.
This one and actually this one. In fact, she
No,
up-
I'll bet you Shoots and Ladders was early on.
You think so?
It might have been called like Snakes and something else.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember seeing reference of it in a. I think it was in 1984. George Orwell's
Really?
1984 reference.
It's not Operation?
No,
Was that the first board game?
I don't think so.
So this is she updates her a few different times, but it never gets sold massively. She just makes them herself, trying to sell it. And what happened was apparently back in those days, people had it got news that this was a game, so people would just they weren't buying them. They just made their own things in their own houses and would play the games. And then a dude named Charles Darrow comes along and really likes this concept. And he had recently lost his job due to the market crash, and he decides he's going to improve it. He's going to take it and improve it.
Well, it looks like you did, because that thing looks like a goddamn mess.
Hold on, you don't change that
Okay.
yet. So here's their they got Broadway, Madison Square, Fifth Avenue, Grand Boulevard, Wall Street. So this is the New York wing there. Isn't it usually over here? But whatever.
Well, I'll tell you this.
And then you've got
I thought the whole thing was New York.
No.
It was Atlantic City, actually.
Was it? But isn't the big ones like Wall Street and what are the two?
Park Avenue.
Park Avenue and something else.
Park Place. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I always thought
all
those
New
were.
York. Never thought about it. What is it?
I didn't either.
It's,
Well,
it's actually Atlantic
I'm
City.
pretty sure it's supposed to be modeled after Atlantic City.
Well,
but
you're pretty sure this is the Monopoly.
Well, no, but here's the
Day.
thing. Well, here's what I was trying to get at. Like, so even like now, when we kind of sometimes when people joke about the idea of like, oh, I got a Bostonopoly, or oh, I got Detroit Tigers Opoly, or whatever. Before it was marketed, that was the thing of the day. Like this game did get popular, but not where it was being sold yet. And
Well,
people
I know
just had
why.
their own versions everywhere they were. So
when,
people
but
in their
they
own
don't.
hometowns would just literally, you just draw it on like
Right.
here.
But see, if you look over here, hold on, E.
Okay.
If you look, this is a problem. When you got Boomtown is a thing, Goat Alley,
Yeah.
Beggarman's Court, Rickety Row. I mean,
Dude, it is all Atlantic City. Boardwalk and all that shit. I never thought about that.
I always thought
Thank you,
Boardwalk
E. I
and the
learned
other.
something.
I thought that was New York City. Whatever.
So this is so finally, like I said, so here's the thing. This lady makes it, it's not selling, but it's popular, like I said, kind of all around areas where people are playing their own games. They're just drawing their own boards. And this Charles Darrow says, like, this is good, man. I think this is good. And he's going to improve it. And
so he took over and did what a woman couldn't and made it
and this
a
is
viable
his
game.
first. This is it. His very first one. And some of the things he did, because the problem
Got
was
the railroads in there now.
He added the railroads. He's created the railroads. He created Go.
He's got the chance. Or
The problem with her thing
right.
is she still just wanted it always to be a teaching thing, and he realized that if I make
the
this
learning shit,
I know,
lady.
but
God damn, you're killing me.
Well, dude, she was so stern about the learning thing that at one point, finally, when Parker Brothers, when they buy it from him, from Charles Darrow, but they also have to find later that she did have some patents on it, so they go back to her and ask her, like, they only give her $500.
Oh,
nothing going forward. But she's asked later in an interview, she was happy that she didn't get royalties, but the problem was in the interview.
I'm sure she was.
No, she wasn't. She was totally happy with it because in the interview she said, when they were trying to buy it from her, they said, well, what if we change this game down the line? And she was staunchly against it. Her whole thing was, I want this to get out there to the people to show that monopolies are bad, big corporations are bad.
Yeah.
But the problem was, once people apparently started playing the game and it got big, turns out people liked bankrupting their mother or dad, and they liked owning property. And it kind of got addicting.
Well, no, you can tell by her look, Jay. She's a stern, put her foot down, not budging kind of woman. Because I can promise you, judging by those eyebrows, her husband was like, can we just trim some of it back?
No.
Fucking nipples to knees. Imagine the bush on that woman.
Yeah.
I mean,
troubling.
just. Yeah.
Anyway.
He ruined it. But man, oh man, look at that.
Well, what
that
did it
looks
cost
like a dude in
at
drag.
first? What did it cost at first?
$2,
And
about
what does that cost?
$37 ish. Now, there was some. It was. There's. What was I trying to think?
I have no idea.
This did turn this Darrow into, though, the first ever millionaire by selling the board game. But what happened was, and when we were talking about this, when I said we were talking about this recently about how the real rules are, and if you ever finished a game, even back in
I definitely haven't,
dude. Even back in 1934, when Darrow takes this to Parker Brothers, they tell him it breaks 51 rules of like why this would not work. And one of them is the time consuming, it's boring. And so there's reasons that they pass on it, and he starts producing it himself. And then finally he gets someplace in Philadelphia, like a little shop, to start buying it. And it starts
I don't blame
really
him for
doing
passing,
well.
honestly. You present that to somebody, you'd be like, nah, I'm confused. Too many rules. It takes too long. Even
no doubt about
today, back then, whenever.
this is the
Plus,
original.
too complicated.
Don't you think Lizzie there, if she was watching people like trying to teach the lesson, like she's walking around the board as games being played by 4 or 5 people, she'd just have that long wooden ruler in her hand, just whack down in your hand. As soon as why would you, whatever you did that she didn't approve of, whack.
Why would you buy the utility?
Yeah,
So
exactly. First round, you bought utility, really?
You fool!
Mr. Detroit Cast, whap! Give me your knuckles, whap!
Is that the first cover?
When they turned him down, as I said, he then sells in the next year or so 5,000 versions of the game out of this store, and then Parker Brothers comes back to him. But here's the thing too, and it's not that he did not steal this from the girl, because really he did create his own game. But up until like the mid 70s, it was just 100% Charles Darrow created this game until somebody was getting mad at Monopoly and they started making an anti-Monopoly game. And then they go to court. It goes all the way to the Supreme Court on whether this is okay, if it's a breach of their the Monopoly thing. And by doing that, it comes out like, oh yeah, this other chick made this kind of back in 1904. Yeah. So she definitely is the creator of what became Monopoly. But Darrow did plenty of his own spin to make it more regular,
heavily
make it more
influenced by Elizabeth Ocasio-Cortez. There.
Yes, I think we can give it to I mean, first off, she looks like she's eaten a shitload of porridge over the years, doesn't she? Yeah. She had a very porridge-based diet, it appears. I think that's bullshit. I think ladies don't get enough credit, and she deserves Monopoly. That guy would not have run with that idea without her.
When I actually read this article. You can't
just put it in the rounds, sir, and act like it's yours.
I read this article that was kind of factor fiction things about this, and then the conclusion that article drew is that all three of the people were needed to make Monopoly become the most successful board game of all time. And it was like she came up with an idea, but it was not good enough for the common man. It was too educational, too trying to teach a lesson. He saw that, he improved on it, but he couldn't have gotten it out to the masses. Parker Brothers finally sees it, and then Parker Brothers turns it into.
So what you're saying is Lorne Michaels invented SNL, and when he left, he was required to come back to make it work. It wasn't as good without him. Or Larry David, when Larry David was very necessary. It wasn't just Jerry and Elaine.
Right.
You know.
By the way, board games go back to 3500 BC.
Oh, really? What were they playing there?
First mass-produced one in the United States, though, looks like the Mansion of Happiness.
Oh, that sounds fun. Can we play it still?
Have to get one of those on eBay, maybe.
For some reason, I feel like the loser has to be beheaded and his head's in a basket for the rest of the town to laugh at,
Yeah, this board looks pretty grim, right? Looks like something along those lines.
Yeah. Oh, there's swords involved. I guarantee it. There's swords involved.
If you care at all.
In their defense, swords were new at the time, so getting the best use that they could out of them.
If you care at all, the total amount of money it's in a game is $20,580. At one point in 1936, they were selling 20,000 copies of the game every week. That's how popular it got.
Holy shit. Anything else, Isis?
I think that's pretty good.
Well done, Professor.
Nice job, Isis.
I am a visual learner, so I appreciate all that.
Hell yeah.
It's very informative.
Hell yeah. You want to see the mongoose pup?
Yeah.
I love this guy. The video's a little deceiving. It's funny, dude. This happens a lot, but I'm upstairs like a maniac. I'll be like, oh, look at it, poops, if I see something on the TV. And I a lot of times forget, he's here. And so E starts filming as I've got headphones on at my computer, screaming like a maniac, and he films this whole thing as I'm watching this video. I'd post it on Facebook or something, but I know no one will see it, so what's the point? But it's pretty fucking funny to see what an insane person I look like, just going, I'm dead. No, I'm not. Go ahead, E. There's a little mongoose.
So we're going to be watching you reacting to the mongoose or the mongoose?
No, we just have the video here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, this is the actual video. And so this is a large hornbill bird, and these little guys, mongoose pups, are playing. And a little guy plays dead, puts his little hands up. Oh, I'm dead.
Want to play?
Yeah, go ahead. Look at these poops.
Just playing. Here comes the hornbill.
Yeah. Hey, get out of here, you. Get out of here.
It's the hornbill.
Oh, no, I'm dead.
Ha!
Poops. Oh, no, I'm not.
Is he looking?
Oh, I'm dead. No, I'm dead.
Isn't he pretended to be dead?
He's pretending to be dead. Look at the little guy.
Yeah,
he's a cute, huh?
He's a cute. Yeah. No, I'm dead. No, I'm dead.
I love it.
Don't look at me. I'm dead. Get out of here, Bill. Get out of here, Bill.
That's just the instinct.
No, I'm dead. No, I'm fine. No, I'm dead.
Faker. Nobody taught him. That's just instinct. That's crazy.
This is a rather deceptive video, actually. It turns out that the mongoose and
he was taught.
No, it's this behavior. This particular bird and mongooses get along. They help each other out. Like mongooses can do stuff that the big bird can't do, and vice versa.
Right.
And so the little baby here, it's an almost like by jumping onto his belly, he's going playtime. And it's an almost, they say, experts say it's an almost irresistible lure to a playful mongoose, as it says, come and get me, I'll let you win. And then he gets back up. I'll let you win. And so the mongooses and hornbills have a unique relationship. Are often seen together as they help each other out in the wild. So hornbills look out for larger predators. So get out of there, leave my goose alone. They'll shoo them away, and in return, the mongooses help to find the insects for the big bird to eat.
Okay.
I got one over here. Over here, Bill. Hornbill. Over here.
A
Fun one.
symbiotic relationship. That's nice.
Isn't that
It's
cool?
nice to see nature work together.
You like to see people working as a team, pulling for each other. What are you doing with the Jew chocolates?
Yeah, we got
What's going on
some
here?
new plastic Jews. I wanted to thank listener. Let's see who sent us these. Listener Curtis. Thank you, Curtis, for the chocolate Jews. Mike and he really enjoy these, so have at it,
They're
gentlemen.
actually really good.
Yeah,
They are.
the Maccabees. They're Hanukkah Maccabees.
Yep, there
Whole
you go,
strip
Ian.
of them.
A
Mike,
whole 8 of them.
before we get to email,
Oh, for the love.
we
of
received some
God.
posts, man.
Uh,
Listen,
yeah.
Calgary, Alberta. Ever been there?
No.
No? Neither have I. What do you think of when you think of Calgary? The Saddle Dome, the Calgary Flames.
Calgary
Flames.
You think of cold weather, a lot of winter weather, snow, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Only snow.
according to the fun facts, listen to this. Calgary's annual precipitation is a mere 16 inches.
Calgary only has a precipitation of what?
16 inches
If you do from the. You're thinking about down from there.
per year.
Is that a lot
At
or a
least
little?
these are facts that are entered by listener Jared.
Oh well.
Greetings from the Great White North, says Jared. Fun facts, Calgary's nickname is Cowtown. The average age is 36.4 years, a youthful city. It is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The wind in Calgary is often called a Chinook. Alberta's official bird is the great horned owl. That's a good official bird.
The horned owl, yeah. Big fan.
Tufted titmouse would be better, but
Yep.
great horned owl is not bad. Thank you, Jared. P.S. Where is the life-sized Mike Lindell cutout? No idea.
Yeah, that was stolen.
Stolen.
Yep.
We might have another one.
Yeah, there might be,
up
but we
soon.
set it up.
Aaron chimes in from Texas. He provided a nice picture of a couple lads' asses there, a couple
Those-
cowboys' asses.
Those are boys' asses.
Love those Texas buns.
Ah,
Gee, this one's
wow.
for you, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
After seeing these buns, I know you're too verklempt to worry about Texas facts, but here they are. Number one, Pat Green is a third-rate country singer,
Ooh.
Go fuck yourself.
a poor man's Chris Gaines.
Oh,
Oh, go fuck
wow.
Fact number
I'd agree with
2.
that.
The state flower is the blue bonnet. Okay. Number 3, this is a great one. Atheists cannot hold public office. You must acknowledge the existence of a supreme being. Texas.
Hell yeah, that's Texas. That's the Texas way.
That's a great fact, man.
That's is that true?
I reckon.
Yeah.
I could see it being true in Texas.
So what if
right?
what if you were like, yeah, this pencil is the higher being to me, so
Yeah,
I acknowledge
spaghetti
it.
monster.
Yeah, right. Does it
Like
have
that.
to be like?
I haven't dug down into the Texas
Yeah.
facts, but I imagine you could get around that.
Mm-hmm.
On to email. And if you'd
Okay.
like to email us, you can send us your thoughts to email@detroitcast.com. If you'd like to post us like those two gentlemen did, post us at P.O. Box 250268, Franklin, Michigan, 48025. Now, Kara writes in, perils of name pronunciation. It's also kind of a bummer being the person with a name that can be pronounced more than one way, says Kara. For the record, I'm Kara, not Kara.
Oh.
Oh, no, yeah.
But I've learned to answer to both.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better
See,
learn to
wait,
answer
wait a
to
minute.
both.
She just said, see, in her own like trying to say "woe is me," she says, "I'm Kara." Not who told you were Kara?
Her parents,
I know, but
people who named her.
but they just made up a sound though. It's Kara.
Would that suck though? I don't know what he's saying, but
Yeah, we can just move on from that.
Karakara.
That would kind of be annoying, honestly. Kara
Well,
and Kara.
I'm a touch sensitive to this because my last name has an O instead of an A, but it's pronounced Walters.
Okay, you know what? My name's
Which-
Fady, and it's Fadi and Fatty all the time. And you know what? I don't give a
Fatty.
fuck. I just sit whatever.
Yeah.
When people say, "Is it Fadi?" I'm like, you know what? It's Fady, but whatever. Just
Does
say
it
what you
matter if they say fuck Fady or fuck Fatty or fuck Fadi?
Fadi? I've gotten Fadi too.
Have you? I kind of like Fadi.
Fadi.
Might be different if it's your first name, though.
Yeah, it'd be.
Just
You're right.
everybody,
You're right,
Kara,
first
Kara,
name.
Kara, and it's like, it's Kara, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Thanks
right.
for writing in, Kara. Appreciate it.
I went backwards for a while to avoid it. I just told my whole name backwards.
do you
Akeem
mean?
Sretlow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of a
I
no
remember what
sag
yours-
negat narb
Exactly.
situation.
Yeah. I liked what he was doing there.
James writes in, gentlemen and E, I just wanted to comment on your comments about listener Amy's kids at the podium grievance. Jay says he thinks that shit started with Steph Curry, but I think it goes back way further than that.
Mhm.
Remember Dusty Baker's dumb bastard kid who was in the base path at the World Series and had to be rescued by JT Snow?
Oh my God, yes.
But this is a different issue. Amy's thing was kids at the podium speaking. Like, yeah, kids have been shitty forever, which is James's point. They since put a moratorium on kids in the dugout, but I think they should apply to all sports. We get it. You have kids. Lots of people do. You're not fucking specially. Actually, fuck it. Apply it across the board everywhere. Fuck your kids, not sexually. Thoughts and prayers, James.
He's got a point though. Dusty Baker's kid was not just like, oh yeah, we get it, kids are assholes. Dusty Baker's kid was getting a shitload of press.
He was
as
regularly
the bat boy.
in the dugout. Yeah, I remember
he was the bat boy, but he was like 2. And so he's got his little giant. So you can imagine seeing a little guy run out there. He's a cute. And he's the coach's kid, and they're going deep in the playoffs. So a lot of people are paying attention.
Jesus, do you have him being saved on the base path? I barely remember that. I'm not sure
God.
I saw it more than once.
He was like, bat's down. I got it. Stay back, guys. I got it.
Image. I
got it.
There's the little guy.
Look at that poops. Yeah, well, hold on. Get away from me. No, I'm trying to get a bat. I got to do my job.
He's wee, man.
No, I'm trying to do my job. Why did I grab me?
Do we have the video?
I'm trying to see if this is.
He yanked him. Yeah, it's fucking awesome video.
Just yanked him out of the way by the collar. That's awesome.
Imagine what's going on in this little man's mind. He's like, oh, bat down.
Got
bat
Anaheim v. San Francisco.
Home run. No. But it's in play. But there's a bat. I got it. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Little guy.
Oops.
Awesome.
Roof. Thanks for picking me up there, bud. That was a close call. Hold on, I gotta grab my
Look
bat.
at him, dude. He's cute.
I had to get my helmet.
I love that guy.
Yeah, I left my helmet. And he slides. Thanks for the bat. Don't touch it. Mine.
Thank
Look at this.
Oh my god.
The grown-ass men coming.
Yeah, it's not like he saved his life or anything, but he took him out of harm's way.
What if he doesn't? What if JT Snow doesn't grab the kid
other guy's
there?
not sliding. The other guy jogs in.
What do you? No, but just for argument's sake, what if there's a play at the plate and you're in the playoffs and that catcher is there and all of a sudden there's a fucking toddler and it's like we can't go down 4 runs, man.
I agree with you.
I think
you see the play through and chips lay where they lay.
I think that's fair too, and I think people can't even bust your balls for that. It's like, man, I got a job to do.
Yeah.
You can't have a toddler. I got it.
Does anybody remember a kid though being as obnoxious prior to Steph Curry's kid on the mic?
I don't know. I don't think I do.
I know there are examples, Jay, but that's a really prominent one. There had to have been. Steph Curry's not the first one to have a stupid kid grabbing at the mic.
Linda writes
See if
in.
you can bing it, E. Just like
I don't remember one prior to him.
Pro sports children at the taking the podium line or something.
Because he was bringing her up every time,
Yeah.
after every game, and it became a thing, and Instagram was blowing up.
Dude, that's annoying as shit.
yeah,
By the way,
it's ridiculous.
like some of the Brady stuff I was reading. He's like, oh yeah, it's my advanced career. It's been great. It's not just the kids coming to the Super Bowl. I have them at practice and preseason and during the regular season. They're in the locker room, and then I'm like, dude, I've had some of that shit where it's like people become, they're high enough on the ladder where it's like, yeah, your girl's just there with every day, and you're just like, dude,
you're in a band or something, and now just
or you're there to work, and it's like it is. Can you imagine if Gab was just here?
No.
All day, every day, and and Gab's easy to deal with. Like, imagine if it was like you were fighting all the time. You know what I mean? And it's like,
woman, quiet down over there.
And we're just sitting here, just like
trying to talk.
We're just like
trying to talk to Mike and E. Quiet down, woman.
Hey, zip it.
We do a story. We do a story, and she's like, "That's mean," or something.
Sexist.
Oh my god, you guys!
Seriously, guys, she's a hole. She's turned into a fucking hole. And E and I are just like, oh boy. What? So, what are the Detroit casts like downstairs today? And he's like, don't even go down there. Don't even go down there. Oh,
yeah, that's really presumptuous. People bringing their family around like that.
Because where does it stop? Can we all bring our kids, or do you have to have a certain amount of rings to bring your fucking dumb kids around and make out with them?
Yeah,
Mr. Brady,
make out with them.
In the locker room, just making out with his boys.
This is natural. This is natural.
Linda writes in, gentlemen, a grievance has found me. I'm not going to put it to the clock. It's so quick. Please stop messing with young Erickson's hair. His greasy plume was perfect for him. 100% more attractive on him. Why does everybody keep encouraging him to jack up his hair? Let him enjoy his youth. And so is Wild Oats. Is there a misunderstanding here, Linda? This is a 38-year-old man. And if you're referring to the Floby haircut, it looks lovely. I think.
It does. I noticed a little something in there though. Linda said it's more attractive on him.
100% more
yeah.
attractive.
Is this her way of
Is this a
slightly
love connection?
making an offer, placing,
Wow.
just getting that on the table?
Wow,
Well, apparently I'll have to wait a few months before she'll be interested, though.
we haven't had this happen in a long time.
Yeah.
Not since a young lady from Out Lemons
Yeah.
came forward and offered her.
On day from out Lemons Bay.
The
Yep.
hairstyle's all wrong for Big E and will not attract the ladies. Love the show as of late. And always, winky face, Linda.
Wow, Linda sounds cute, man. She sounds like she is into
She
your
sounds
assy.
cute, he says.
She does. Sounds actually pretty
Although,
fucking hot, man.
I will note, gentlemen, Linda is spelled with a Y, not an
Oh,
I, so
never
maybe
mind.
it's Linda. Linda, thank
Never
you
mind.
for writing in.
Last thing we need is crazy ass bitches with fucking Y. Linda with a Y. Pass. I'm gonna fool me once, Lindas of the world. Fool me once.
We'll save the rest for next week, Michael.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, it's the weekend, and no tackle ball. But it's gonna be it's gonna be a zoo around here, anyways. The last thing I need is to be distracted by tackle ball. Is this studio we're building is kicking into high gear? E, do you have lastly? Do you have your show stuff still up
no,
there
I
that
do
we can
not,
look at?
but-
But, it's good of you to put it away, so we can guarantee we can't plug it again before we get out of here for the weekend. So
Well
that's
done, E.
good move.
problem.
The Lazinskis didn't do that, so we can mention the GoFundMe. Jay, will you put that in the link again today?
Sure.
So GoFundMe, Shariza, Shariza, Charliza, Carissa.
Maybe it has a Jewish
I don't know.
at the front. Harissa.
Don't get me started, dude. One of her kids' names,
Harissa.
one of her boys' names, I believe, is Ian.
But it's spelled E-I-N.
Is that Ian? Ein.
Ian?
If you go by Einstein, it's
Ein.
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 Yes, very good. Hein. Hein. So she's yeah. But anyways, that's the wife. Dan, of course, is the one we were talking about yesterday. Had the massive heart attack. 36, 37, 38 years old, like right in there, young father,
Yeah.
3 young kids, and so they've got a GoFundMe. And if you've got the means to help them out a little bit, it'll be in our if you see us. If you can't share it, share the fucking post if you see it. And Jay will have it in our post as well. And E will be doing stand up with Darren somewhere. And
Like at the
Saturday.
Jewel in Grand Blanc.
Grand Blanc.
Grand
Grand
Blanc.
Blanc.
Yep. So if you can, I'm sure you guys can find his stuff posted on social media. So have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you next week.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen, sugar.